Good morning, YouTube. Welcome to Thursday. Today I am vlogging again. I'm so excited and so proud of myself because I have vlogged every single day this week and I have a ton of vlogs coming at you and I'm really excited for the things that I'm sharing with you guys. I feel like I'm finally now getting back into the swing of teaching and curriculum and getting back into a normal schedule and routine, and so I have a lot of things to share with you guys, and that means I've been getting here a little bit earlier and staying a little bit late, but I think it's worth it because you guys tell me that you're using some ideas and that makes me feel really good. So I'm gonna keep doing it. So today, like I said, is Thursday. Today we are doing kind of some review stuff for tomorrow because tomorrow we have all of our ELA tests and quizzes. So I am going to be using an idea that one of you guys actually shared with me to kind of take the 4 sentences activity a little bit further. So this week we are still focusing on that. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take a piece of chart paper and I'm going to put one in each corner, and then I'm going to have, I'm just going to stick it up on the wall. And then I'm going to have my students work in their houses. So we have 4 houses, 4 corners obviously, so it works perfectly. I'm going to give each house a marker, and I am going to start by writing a sentence on the chart paper before they even get here, so that it's kind of starting off a story, and I'm going to have a certain kind of sentence that it starts with. So each of them might be different. And then each sentence is going to be different too. Each is going to have a different storyline. And I'm going to have them add on to that story with a certain kind of sentence. So I might start one corner with an exclamation. For example, it might say, the house is on fire, or something like that. I don't know, I just thought of that. And then I'm going to say out loud, when all the houses are in their corners, okay, you need to add on a command to that story. And so they're going to have to come up with a command that makes sense with the first sentence that I started. So by the end of it, they're going to have a whole story. And I'm thinking that I'm going to have them rotate after doing 1 or 2 sentences so that they're adding on to a different story. So I'll have them start with a sentence. I'll tell them a couple sentences to write, and they have to write it with a certain kind of sentence. So I'll say, add a command. Okay, now you have to do an exclamation. Okay, now you have to add a question. And then they're going to switch. So they're going to go to another corner and they're going to have to read that story together first, and then I'll give them another kind of sentence and they have to add on to it. So I've never done this before. One of you guys gave me an idea for this and it just kind of sparked this whole spiral of things that I could do with it. And so I'm really excited. I think it'll be fun. It'll get them up and moving. They'll get to be creative. They'll get to collaborate. They're going to be writing, reading, cover all the Wicker strategies for AVID, and I'm really excited. So I'm going to set that up right now, and then I will be sure to share with you guys what sentence I started them on and then how it turned out afterwards. Okay, the sentences I chose were a little bit harder to come up with than I thought they would be because I want them to be able to build a storyline off of it. So it has to be really random and vague, but have enough details where they could try to think of a sentence that goes with it. So who knows if these will work? We'll see. I'll let you know when we're done. But one group is going to start off with this paper. It says, I had just eaten my 4th piece of cake today. I can think of a lot of things that they could jump off from there with. So we'll see how that goes, and that is back by my desk area. That's gonna be one corner. It's kind of hard to find places where they could actually write too. So this group, I'm gonna erase what's behind it, but it says, wow, I just got a dog. This group says, when is Grandma's birthday party over? My little brother asked. Okay, so when I was doing these two, I was like, maybe I should throw some dialogue in there so we can discuss dialogue, because in our stories, we're supposed to be discussing dialogue this week, but they're not supposed to actually have to learn how to write it yet. So we're just gonna talk about that. And then this one is dialogue as well. This one says, go to your room right now, Mom said. So we will see if they are gonna be able to come up with some good sentences from that. Storylines might not make sense. I don't know, we're gonna find out, but I'm excited. either way, like I said, they're gonna get to read, write, collaborate, get creative, and get up and move. And so those are like 5 things I try to think about, like how can I incorporate those into as many things as possible. So I'll let you know. I think at the very least this is gonna be more exciting than doing a worksheet and more meaningful. So we'll see. One of my coworkers also found this skip counting page and put it in our box, so I'm not sure where it came from, I'm sorry, but I'm going to give each of my students one of these so that they can practice their skip counting at home. I'm hoping that this will help them with their multiplication, because right now it's touch and go. So I'm gonna have them put this in a sheet protector in their homework folder so that they can use this at home. And then if they're struggling with multiplication in class, then I will teach them not just the skip counting, but that they can use this to find specific multiplication sentences. So every time you skip count is one more group. So if you're trying to find 2 times 5, you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 times 5 is 10. I know that's obvious to you, but to an 8-year-old, that is not obvious. So yeah, I'm hoping that that will help them. Okay, so that's all I have to share with you for the morning. It is 7:14, so I need to get a couple more things organized for the beginning of the day. This is a day in the life of a teacher vlog. I'm just gonna tell you guys what I'm gonna be doing, even though it's not necessarily like a great idea to share, but it's just really what I'm doing. It's the 3rd week of school, and so we use Remind 101. Well, I use Remind 101, and that's how I communicate with parents. So I find that that's pretty much the easiest way for both me and for parents to communicate, because email is difficult for parents, and then Class Dojo is just like way too much. Like I don't want the points, I don't want, yeah, I just don't I don't like it. So Remind 101 is basically an app where parents can virtually text you without having to have your phone number. So you can download the app to your phone, and then the messages will come through like a text message. But you don't have to share your phone number. But you can turn that feature off, and then if you don't even want the app on your phone, you can just have it on your computer, and it's also a website you can go to and just communicate that way. So it's really easy, and I think as a parent I would like that, because it's really easy. If I need something, I can just kind of like text them or go to the app really quick instead of having to, you know, go to my computer and an email, or, you know, find the email address. I think it's easier. So what I'm gonna do right now is see who signed up and who hasn't signed up for my parents, and then the parents who haven't signed up yet, I'll send them an email and say, hey, can you do me a favor and sign up on Remind, because I'm going to be sending out updates. Like right now I'm going to send out that picture day is coming up, I think next week. I have to check the date before I send that message, and they'll miss that if they're not on Remind, but I'll send them the directions. So I'm going to do that right now. And then what else do I have to do? I want to share one more thing with you guys before I go. I'm doing an outfit of the day video this week, but I wanted to share this shirt with you guys. So this is from Lipstick and Littles. She is a teacher and also has like a t-shirt shop, and everything is so cute, and this is a really soft shirt. So the reason I'm wearing this stems from an idea that I got from a TED Talk from Rita Pearson called Every Child Deserves a Champion. And basically I've shared this before in a vlog, but I want to say it again. So she talks about telling her class on the first day of school that they got handpicked to be in her class because they're the best class, she's the best teacher, and they got to show everyone else how it's done. And so I've told them that from day one, and I always tell them, like, you know, when they're getting a little rowdy or whatever, like, hey, that's not how we're doing things, like that's not the way the best class would go. So I always remind them, like, you guys are the best and you guys need to act like it. And then I'll build them up too, like when they do something awesome, like, see, I knew you guys were the best. And I wanted to wear this shirt because I'm gonna tell them today that we're the dream team, and I want that to kind of be like our little nickname and stick with them, because I think it's powerful and it's important that they know that they are like wanted and accepted and like loved and belong here. So I think that will just be like a fun little, you know, extra thing that will make them feel special. And yeah, it's crazy because every year I always think, like, there's no way that I could love my next class as much as I love this class. And then every year I'm just like, I love them. Like, and not that I think that I won't love them because of specific students or anything like that, but just like you get so connected and attached and bonded to this group that you spend so much time with, and you know them so well, and you're like, oh, I just love them, like these are my kids. And you're like, okay, I'm never gonna have this again, like this is the best year. And then the next group comes and they just blow you away, and you're like, I love them just as much. Like, it's just crazy. And yeah, I don't know, it's just a cool thing about being a teacher. And so yeah, I just want them to feel special. I want them to feel like they belong. I want them to feel accepted and loved, and I want them to know that they are a part of a team, and that we're a family in here, and that it's everything I ever hoped for. We're the dream team. So that might sound silly to you, but it's gonna make them feel special. So, all right, now I really gotta go. See you later. Okay, I wanted to share with you guys a couple things that I got at the dollar store yesterday. So one of them is this roll of raffle tickets. So I got the raffle tickets to go along with this, which I moved because it was on the door, but it's just not sticking, and I also had to put that poster on there for the writing. These don't work whatsoever, so I think I'm gonna find a place to put this, just tape it down, and then I think instead of having this connected with tape on the back, I'm gonna hole punch 2 holes and then use binder clips, or not binder clips, binder rings to kind of have them hanging. That way it's not laying flat against something, and then the kids can more easily stick their clip on it. So I shared this with you guys in a recent vlog, but this is a tracker for keeping track of their Zern lessons. So once they get down to 4+ lessons past the week, most of them, as you can see, are on 2 lessons because yesterday we did our 2nd lesson, so that's exactly where they should be. And once they get to 4 lessons for the week, they are going to earn a raffle ticket, and then I'm just going to have them write their name on the raffle ticket. And then I will just keep this. It's dirty because I used this for pencils before, but this is from the dollar spot at Target. I'm just gonna put the tickets in a little cup, and then I haven't decided when I'm gonna pull it. I want it to be exciting, so I don't want it to be like too spaced out, but I also don't know how many kids are going to get to 4 lessons a week. So I don't wanna do it every week necessarily. I don't know, we'll see. I'll let you guys know what I end up doing when 1 week has passed of using it. Friday, we'll see how many lessons they actually pass this week. And then I'll randomly do a drawing, and then I like to let the kids decide what their prize is. So I've shared with you guys before that I don't do like a prize box or anything like that because a couple different reasons. I don't think that helps build intrinsic motivation, and it can be expensive. And I think the kids are just as satisfied when they get something like lunch with a teacher or free time or extra recess or something like that. So that is what I'm planning on doing with those. And then I have this big box of flashlights because on Fridays we do Flashlight Friday for our reading. So basically I will close the blinds on both sides so it's pretty dark in here. Those blinds are slightly open, and then my other blinds are open, and then I'll turn off the lights, and each child gets a flashlight. I don't know if this one works. It does. So they get to put the flashlight on their book and read in the dark. And you would not believe how exciting this is and how on task they are. It is amazing. So I'll always tell them too, if I see anyone's flashlight like up flashing anybody, I'm turning the lights back on and we're done. And that actually happened last week when we tried to do it for the first time. I said that, and then someone tested me, and I had to show them that I was serious about it. So I said, okay, we're done. Turned the lights back on, took the flashlights away, and they just read regularly. So we're gonna have a chat this week about doing it the right way, and I'm gonna talk to that student again and say, okay, how can we make better choices this time? So hopefully it goes better this week. I think it will. I think it was just like the novelty of it, and it was the beginning of the school year. It still is, but you know, it's the first time we're doing something, so someone's gonna test me. It's okay. So some of these need new batteries, and then I was a couple short, so I just got these at the Dollar Tree. They were $1. And then I got some batteries. So I'm going to replace these and open up the tickets and get ready because we are gonna do math first thing, because I wanna show them that I got the tickets. I told them I was gonna get some, they keep asking me about it and I kept forgetting. So my group this year is so chatty. I love them so much, but oh my goodness, they are very chatty. So I am utilizing this little voice level system more than I ever have before. This is from Miss Fifth. So the voice level I just made on my Cameo silhouette. Cut the letters, I can't remember the font, but then the actual numbers with the different sayings on them are from Miss Fifth. They're a free download. These little lights are from the Dollar Tree, and I just stuck them on here with a command strip. And then when we are doing different activities, I will remind them heavily what our voice level expectation is. So for example, if we're silent reading, then I will tell them we are supposed to be at a voice level 0. I shouldn't hear your voice at all. You need to stay focused on your reading and not talk to anyone. So I will turn this little light on, or I will have my VIP student turn it on because they like to do that. And then of course, if we are talking to a partner and I want them to just be whispering, then I'll turn this one on. If they can just talk normally, you know, they don't need to really be worried about their voice level, I will turn this one on, and that is really dusty. And then if I want them to be speaking up, like for example, if they're doing some kind of presentation or they're speaking out in front of their group, then I will turn this one on. But that one doesn't usually come on. It's typically at a 2 when we're doing like partner group work. So there's a lot of opportunity for them to be able to talk, but I really want them to know, like, hey, if we're on voice level 0, I mean business, we need to be at voice level 0. So that's been helping a bit. But if you have any other ideas for a chatty class, please leave them down below because I need help. Hey guys, it is now recess time, so I wanted to share with you guys how the 4-sentence story writing on the chart paper went. I am like already exhausted today. We did that and it went really well. It was really fun. And then we also did Quizlet Live, so it's just been like a lot of energy. And then we also had someone come in today who's in university right now to be a teacher. And so she was like joining the fun, and so it's just been a lot. I feel like I'm like finally catching my breath. So I'm gonna flip you guys around and show you guys what their stories ended up like. All right, so this is the first one. Each colored marker went to a different house. So after they wrote 2 sentences, I had them switch houses so that they could practice with different stories and get a fresh storyline. And then the very last sentence, since they had already done all 4 kinds of sentences, I had them just write whatever they wanted, and almost all of them chose exclamatory, and they did a really good job. So this is what the first one looks like. I'm not going to read it to you because I need to go to the bathroom. It is recess, but if you want to pause it and read it, you can. And one thing you might notice is that there are some spelling errors, and that's okay because we're not focusing on spelling right now, and so I didn't want them getting caught up on worrying about what something was spelled like. I wanted them to focus on the style of sentence and what to include to make it that kind of sentence. And they all did a really good job. This is the next one. Yep, forgot to erase behind it, so just ignore that. And the last one. I was really impressed with how good of a job they did. They worked together really well. Some of them had different ideas from their teammates about what the sentence should be, so they just did rock, paper, scissors and decided that way on what the sentence should be. So that was really cool. They were able to kind of self-delegate like who was gonna write, whose idea we were gonna go with, and so forth. So I was really proud of them. It went really well and it was fun. Got their wiggles out, and it was just really good. So I'm happy about that. We are gonna do a math lesson next. I don't have anything like crazy special planned for that I need to share with you guys. Oh, I did fix their little Zern chart, so I will share that with you guys. Obviously haven't hung it up yet. I think I'm gonna put it right here on one of the door panels because I don't really have anywhere else I can put it. That would be easy for them to go change their clip. And then also back here, it's kind of private, so it's not like anyone can just, you know, go walk up and see. And then also, if I was gonna put it on the whiteboard, they would have the stage in the way, and when they're getting their backpacks, they might make a fall. So I think I'm just gonna put it here. But what I did is I just hole punched it and then put a binder clip so that when it hangs, there's like some distance from whatever it's hanging on, so that hopefully their clips will be easier to move. So I think I'm just gonna tape it up with like clear packing tape. And then I shared with them about the tickets. They were really excited, and I'm excited to give them out. So I am gonna go eat my snack and go up to the restroom, and I will pick you guys back up in a little bit. All right, it is now lunchtime. I just feel like so exhausted today for some reason. I don't know, I got enough sleep last night, but I just feel so tired. It's only Thursday, so still have another day. I can make it. So a couple things that I'm doing at my lunch. I usually work through my lunches. I'll eat for the first like 20 minutes and then I'll work through it. So I have 2 big things that I have to accomplish today before the end of the school day. One thing I have to accomplish before the end of the school day, and then one thing I have to accomplish before I go home. So the one thing I have to accomplish before the kids leave is one of my students is going to be out for tomorrow and then all of next week. So I need to get together the math lessons for next week, and then a couple things for ELA that I want her to work on that she's gonna miss. So I need to pull those together and put them in a folder for her to take with her. Her mom called me and asked if I could do that for her, so of course I can. And I really appreciate she gave me like 2 weeks heads up, so that gave me plenty of time to plan and get ready. Of course, saving it for the last day. Hello, beginning of school year. The second thing I have to do before I leave today is finish one of my students' present levels of performance for speech. So if you're not a teacher, or if your school calls it something different, since it's the beginning of the year, we will have our triannual meeting for for students that were in speech or had IEPs last year. So I have one. So basically it is just like a Word document. I'm not going to turn it around because I've already started filling it in, so I'm not going to obviously share my students' private information with you guys, but just so you know what goes on this, student strengths, preferences, and interests, their levels of reading, so you can put AR or reading level, their interventions that they're currently being provided, I can put their iReady diagnostic score, anything that I have for their reading. So on this one I will put their diagnostic score. This student hasn't finished yet their iReady diagnostic, so once he finishes, hopefully today, I'm going to have him work on it when he gets back from lunch. Hopefully he'll finish that. And then also I shared with you guys in my last vlog what we are doing for our reading small groups, and so we did all of our phonics screeners, so I'll put what he got for that. I don't really have any other like information since it's only the 3rd week of school, so I can try to put observations that I have, but I try to stick to like data for this because that's obviously, you know, a fact, whereas my observation is just an opinion. So it's okay, in my opinion, if I only have one thing for that because I don't know him very well yet. Written expression is the next category, so it just says quality of work, amount of support required, accuracy, legibility, content, and creativity. So I'm just going to take a look at some of his writing samples and make my observations for that. I also try to bring some samples of work to the actual meeting, so I'm typing this on a Word document and then I will just email it back to the speech pathologist, but when I come to the meeting I'll always bring like their PDF of their iReady for reading and math. I will bring the phonics screener that we did. I will bring a sample of their writing. That way it's not just me like talking, I can actually show what I have to show for that student for that category. Next category says observation of classroom language, communication, speech, and level of participation in oral activities. So for this one it's kind of like, does their speech inhibit them from participating in a group, speaking out loud, sharing their answers, things like that. The next one is social emotional behavior, so cooperation, attention, social acceptance, responsibility, and discipline. And then there's only a couple more. It asks about attendance, number of absences and tardies, physical skills, gross and fine motor, and then self-help, adaptive skills, functional skills, independent skills, work habits, and homework return. So this sounds like a lot, and that's probably because I'm not actually showing it to you. It's only one page, and you just type in a couple sentences for each. It doesn't take too long, maybe like 30 minutes to fill this out at the most. So I'm going to try to get that done today before I leave, and then I will also be putting together right now that student's work for next week. So I don't know, I feel like when I do these vlogs I kind of like miss a lot of stuff and I don't include everything that we're doing, and of course I can't pick up the camera all day, definitely not when the kids are in here, and then, you know, if I was telling you guys every little thing that I was doing I would never get any work done. But I do want to accurately portray like all the little things that goes into being a teacher, and so I want to do my best to show you guys exactly what I'm doing when I'm able to. So that is what I am spending the rest of my lunch break doing. So I'm gonna put you guys down, get that done. I'm not gonna show you guys what I'm doing because again there's private information about students on his form, so I'm not going to be sharing any, you know, in-action video, but I will pick you guys back up after school and show you what I'm doing then. Alright guys, we made it to the end of the day. I am just about ready to leave, hence the glasses on top of my head. But before I did that, I wanted to share with you guys the video that I mentioned the other day to help with race responses using a Bruno Mars song. So this was all created by Miss Fifth. It is totally something that is free and you can find on her blog, which I will link down below. If I remember, if I don't, just comment and I will add it in there, because oftentimes I say that and then I forget. So sorry. So real quick before I head out, I am going to share that with you guys. Okay, so this is the PDF download that is a complete free clickable link on her blog post. So if you just click this, it will open up to what I just had open, and then I just downloaded it. But these are the lyrics that go along with the 24 Karat Magic Bruno Mars song, and then she also has linked the instrumental version that she uses with her students. So I did this with my class today. So it says click here to see my class learning the song, but when you click on it, it says post no longer exists. But she does link the instrumental version on YouTube. So with this one, I think it's about like 30 seconds in. Well, this is an ad.
Grammarly can help.
One second.
Is grammatically correct.
Okay, so I think it's about 30 seconds in. It goes through the intro of the song. And this is the karaoke version, so it does have the lyrics, but I just I pause it on the part that I want my students to be able to play. So it's right after this where it highlights players. And this song is a little bit off, so if you do it right where they have it, it's going to be a little too fast. So I just have this playing, I'll press play, and right now is when it should start. Okay, I can't talk and do this at the same time with it playing. So the way that I taught this to my students is I showed them the original song, the clean version, and they all knew it. And then I told them that we were going to be using that song to learn a different set of lyrics that had the same rhythm, but that were going to help us with our race responses. And so I started by just having them listen to me rap this, or not rap, I guess, sing it. So right where that part says players, it should go, students, answer, yo, questions using race. Woo, y'all know what to do, and so forth. So it sounds just like the song. Don't judge my singing right there. But I went over it with them just by saying it like that out loud through the whole song. Twice. And then I had them try it with me. So I showed them exactly what it should sound like, and then I just went line by line. So I went, students, answer, yo, questions using race, and then they did that exact same thing, line by line. We did that twice. So twice I did it for them, and they just listened. Twice we went line by line with me doing it and then them copying me, and I had them do it in the exact same tone of voice so that when we put it to the music, it made a lot more sense. And then we added the music on there. So they had already heard it or done it 4 different times. And the first time we did it, it was real bad, but that's okay. Especially like this whole part right here is really fast. And it didn't highlight this part too, but this whole part right here, and then pretty much this whole second verse is really fast and really kind of hard for them to get down. But the most important thing is that they understand what race stands for, and so they all have this part down right here, the chorus part. So that part is repeated, it's easy, it's a little bit slower, and that's probably the part of the song that they know too, and so that beat makes sense to them. And so this is what we are using to help teach them what a race response should include. So some of them, yes, they're not going to get all the words, but that's okay, because if they're understanding that R stands for restate, A stands for answer, C stands for cite, E stands for explain, then that's really all I care about. So then right after I taught them that song, I had them practice. So on Thursdays, in our Wonders curriculum, the story is really, really short. And so I think today it was only like 3 pages, and it was only like a couple paragraphs on each page. So I read the first page to them, they read the last 2 pages with the partner, and then there was a question, and they had to use the race response format. So I left this up there for them. Can you see that? So that they would remember what it was. There's also posters on the wall, and then you can't see from here. There's also the writing that we did the other day that I shared with you guys in a previous vlog, where it had kind of like a template outline for what that should look like. So it was a little tricky for them. The song was kind of hard, kind of fast, and we didn't actually have enough time to get through the entire writing, but we are going to practice tomorrow. So on the Wonders curriculum, on Fridays, we have a test. So the first 10 questions, I think, yeah, it's 10, are answering questions about the story, and then the last one is a writing piece. So I am going to take that part off the test. I'm going to delete it, only assign them the questions. It's pretty short. I mean, it might take them a little bit of time because they've only done it 1 time before this. In 3rd grade, at least. They did it last year, but that was their first time with curriculum. So then the writing part we're going to do together, because they definitely don't have that down. And what we learned last year is that our kids really need a lot of support in helping them figure out what the writing part should look like. And so instead of giving them something and knowing they don't know how to do it and then watching them fail and giving them a grade for it, which is pointless, we are instead taking that part off the test, doing it with them, going over what it should look like, modeling, having them help us, and helping them build that framework for what it should look like so they can do it by themselves the next time. I think we're going to do that for probably the first whole unit, so the first 5 weeks. So yeah, we'll see how it goes tomorrow. I don't know, but I do know that 2 years ago was the first time that I showed the race song to my students. I did it last year too. Every single one of them still remembers it. Like if I were to call in some of my 5th graders, they could all sing it. Maybe not all the parts, like the parts I showed you really fast, but definitely the chorus. So I know it sticks, I know it helps, and it's definitely a skill that they're gonna need to have because they're going to be responding to reading no matter what grade they're in, and that's a skill that is going to help them if they have a little song to kind of help guide them. So I am just so exhausted. I need to go home. My throat hurts. I feel like I'm starting to get sick. And I feel like I was like talking so much today. Even though we did a bunch of hands-on activities and my students were working a lot with their partners, my kids are so chatty. Like I feel like I'm constantly reminding. And so I need to do a little research probably this weekend because I won't have time tonight. But I need to do a little research on some kind of system I can use for chattiness because this ain't working. Yeah, it's not working. So wish me luck. I'm gonna get out of here. I hope you guys all enjoyed watching this, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful start to your school year. If you're still on summer break, I'm super jealous. And I will see you guys soon for another video. Thanks for watching. Bye.